Hello everyone, it's Nick here. Now, there's some YouTubers like Rick Beato who they talk about these popular songs and isolate the tracks and they talk about the whole process and everything. And I wanted to do the same thing with video game music. So here I am. Now, I don't know, I'm not like too knowledgeable about theory. I failed on my theory test in high school because I know everything, just by ear, not by name. So, um, so this video though, I'm gonna do my best to talk about the theory or stuff behind it. Um, but we're gonna go through every track, and we're gonna go through just I'll for some of the parts I'll show you how to play them. I don't have a piano cam though, so I can only recite the notes. So I hope that's good. For the guitar parts, I don't. My audio device only allows a couple things to be plugged in, so this is going to be unplugged. But we'll get to that when we get to it. So the song we're going to be talking about is "Puzzle Fever" from the game Pac-Attack for the Super Nintendo, which I believe was the original version, or at least it's the best sounding out of all of them. The song was composed by Hiromi Shibano under the pseudonym of Saya Saya, and it made it into every other part of Pac-Attack, which was a puzzle game by Namco, obviously based on Pac-Man, but I believe it was originally an arcade game called Cosmo Gang the Puzzle. However, this song was not a part of that soundtrack, if I remember right. I think that just used a few other songs from that were also used in Pac-Attack, but yeah, there was a Genesis version, there was a Game Boy version, and there was even a version on the CDI, believe it or not. And if you don't believe it, too bad. It exists. I only remember that it does use the music from, the other versions, but I don't remember how good or if there's any other original songs. So here we go. We're going to take a look at the song. I might do a little bit of commentary, but I'll try to keep it a little minimal. But yeah, you guys don't want to hear me talk. Let's get to the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Love that guitar. So this is just an arrangement of the cutscene music from Pac-Man, the arcade game. Love that guitar though. Alright. And yeah, I have it cut off once the song's done. That way people will know where it ended. So, there's 8 sound channels on the SSMP chip of the Super Nintendo, which some believe stands for the Sony Sound and Music Processor. However, I don't believe that's been confirmed. However, this song only uses 7 of those 8 channels, which is good. It leaves 1 for sound effects without getting in the way of the music. So it does kind of sound like it uses more than 7 channels at some point, doesn't it? So let's see if we can figure that out. First, we're going to take a look at the bass part. So a lot of these phrases, because it's video game music still, so a lot of phrases are repeated. Now, for what I remember with my conversation with Yoshinori Kawamoto, Namco's sound driver, and yeah, Namco, because that's how you would pronounce it in Japan, or Namuko, he said he used some kind of tracker looking program to make his Super Nintendo music. And this game's sound engine by Shinya Yamada is actually based on Nintendo's Kankichi-kun sound engine. Um, and then later on, Junko Ozawa created her own sound engine for Namco, which was original code, not based on Nintendo's audio engine. So, yeah, a little fun fact there. So, but let's take a look at the bass part and see how it sounds, and talk about it a little bit. Sounds like a picked bass. And it just plays this for a while. Now back into the verse. There's a little bit of articulation between the notes, kind of between like a 64th note and a 32nd note. Well, that's good, because that's what it would sound like in real life, because when you put your finger on the string, it changes. But yeah, so like when you put your finger on the string to play another note, you just temporarily mute the string for like half a second or dampen it. So I do like the realism there. So yeah, just a normal bass riff. Not much to say about it, but it's really cool and it goes with the song pretty well. But we are going to reference that later when we're talking about the chord changes. And so now we're going to take a look at the guitars, which are channel 2 and channel 3. So but we're going to take one of these doesn't pick up, I think, the right speaker or the left speaker. So you'll be able to hear it. I won't be able to, but I'll just know what's playing. But I'm going to do some like ear trickery on you guys. So let me know when you notice it. I might make it obvious though. So here's the clean guitar part, and let's take a look at it. So you got one playing through the right speaker, then you have the other one playing through the left speaker. Pretty clever, I like it. And all that is just a bar chord with these lower 3 strings. So I don't know if this was intentional or not. Well, whether or not it was, it's really clever. But I love the mute picking there. You know, it sounds like the Waka Waka, that Pac-Man, the Pac-Man sound. So that's really cool if they managed to do that. Or she, I should say. It was one person as far as I know. So yes, like I said, you got one playing through the right speaker, got one playing through the left speaker. So yeah, these two channels are exactly the same. And I think one has this very slight delay, but it's like maybe like a 64th note delay. It's barely noticeable. So why not show you how to play that on a guitar, because it's pretty easy. So again, it's like a bar chord, or you could just play it like this. Yeah, bar the E through G strings, on the 5th fret, and then put your middle finger on the 6th fret of the G string. You get this C sharp in the bass, E, and then A. So an A chord, A major. And then down 2 frets to 3rd fret barred, and then 4th fret. So I'll just say 3rd fret, because the chord fingering is the same throughout the entire song. So now you'll notice that I'm not changing chords while I'm muting to G, because that's how it sounds. You still hear that C sharp until it goes to the open G sound. And that's why then when it goes to the next bar, it goes to A. So A, G. It goes A, G, alright, now we get to the bridge part, because every other part of the song is the same. And you get this, you know, yeah, I'm holding it's kind of hard to play this guitar because I'm holding it in a position so people can see. So this game, I don't know if it's because of the soundtrack or whatever, but it uses a pitch slide effect rather than a note slide. So instead of going like this, you know, that kind of like hard transition from one note to the other, instead of doing that, it bends. So there's a few different ways to play that. You could probably use a slide, which I'm not really experienced with. You could use the whammy bar, but even that's a chore. I can't even do it right. But I just play it with slide, or just normal, you know. Play it a little slow so you can kind of get the picking. Yeah, a lot of picking on here. Mostly with the right hand on the bridge. Like that. So that's pretty much the guitar part. There is a guitar solo later in the song, but I haven't tabbed that out yet, so... I mean, just love that funky groove. And that goes through the rest of the bridge. Just those A, G, F, and G chords. Now, I said I would get back to the bass part. I guess you could say I'm going back to that basics. But, no, there's a little connection here. So, as I just said, and actually that's... So, I guess we kind of talk about the chord structure here, because now we've heard all the, like, chords. We've heard the guitar, we've heard play a chord, and we've heard the bass line. So, the song... Its main thing is just alternates between an A and a G on A. And then I guess I should leave that, the one I'm playing with my thumb, because then it'll match the guitar part. I'm going to play with the brighter piano here so you can hear it a little better, hopefully. It goes, oops. Little bit of jazz. Technically, you could say this A over G chord is an A11, but since there's no C sharp or E, not really a need to. Now the verse, or I mean the bridge part, that's the only part that's different. It's just A, G over A, F, and then G. All these are over with an A in the bass, so the second time around it's a little different because, and then an E minor 7. Because the guitar plays that G like normal, like as it's repeating what it played the first loop. But the bass actually plays an E on that last bar before the loop, so the G plus the E in the bass, E minor 7. And there you go. So now we've covered the guitar and the bass parts. Now let's take a look at channels 4 and 5, which are both the lead. So we have a keyboard. We have like a synthesizer here with a DSP reverb effect built in, thanks to the SMP sound, the sound chip of the Super Nintendo. So you're going to be hearing kind of the same thing twice at the same time. But the channel 5 has a slight delay, maybe about I want to say like a 30-second note. That's what I put in when I transcribed the MIDI, and it sounds fine. But all right, so here we go. This keyboard's kind of like a bit wonky sounding, so you might want to like turn down your volume here. But all right, we're gonna check it out here. And again, this is just the an arrangement of the one of the cutscene songs from the original Pac-Man arcade, which is pretty cool. And that was composed by Toshio Kai. Toru Iwatani was the game designer. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pay attention to the vibrato and the note slides. Got a string solo, pretty cool. Alright, so it does that a second time before going to the bridge. So let's kind of study that one a little bit. Again, I wish I had a piano cam, but I don't have one, alas. Okay, I'm going to put the guitar away because I don't need it for the rest of the video, I don't think. Maybe. Okay, so we have the synth. I'm just gonna play it on a piano patch here, just so it's easier to understand. Get my car keys out of the way. But I'll just play it here, and then I'll give you the notes. So we have this A, F sharp, E, and the first A starts with that a little like, kind of like a half step down pitch slide to the note you're playing. And then A, C sharp, A, C, C sharp. So again, that A with the little pitch bend, and the C with the little pitch bend. And then A, F sharp, E, first A with the pitch slide. And then a pitch slide again on the A, and then the F sharp with vibrato. And then same thing kind of as the first bar. A, F sharp, E with the pitch slide on the first note. And then A with the pitch slide. And then C, and then D. And then F sharp, or E flat with the pitch slide, and then D, C, A. Or I just play the D and then pitch bend up to the E flat. And then D, C, A, C with vibrato, and then A with no vibrato. So And you play that twice. So it's pretty simple. Now we'll take a look at the string solo. I'm going to play an organ patch here just so it's... actually, where's that one that sounds like a Commodore 64? I'll do that one. It's called the PWM lead. Hopefully the reverb doesn't get in the way too much. But it goes like this. Pretty cool, right? So, he starts out this A that kind of like descends down in pitch after a little bit. Then E, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, E, D, again, G, F sharp, E, D. That's how it goes. So, A, E, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, E, G, F sharp, E, D. So. And then we got C sharp, D, E, and then A and G. And then B, G. And then so this part could be a little tricky. So it goes A, F sharp, G, A, G, A, B, G, B, D, B, C sharp, D, C sharp, D, E flat, E, G, E, and then a triplet of B, A, G, 16th note triplets. And then E, D, E, G. So let's see if I can play without screwing up. And there you go. So if you want to play that on a keyboard, hopefully that helps. And I do plan on doing like a full score of this, releasing it somewhere, I don't know where. I'll figure out a place. Alright, so that takes care of the keyboard solo. So it pretty much does the same thing again with the, you know. Does that twice and then it goes to the guitar solo. So, but I'll play it from the keyboard part just so you get a better understanding. I don't even know what kind of sound that's supposed to be besides some kind of like synth lead. And then we got electric guitar. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the guitar solo 100%, but I kind of get it. Oh. Yeah, I can't. And the reverb, which is an eighth note delay, is that last note, that G sharp, is played as a 32nd note. I guess just to prevent the overlap of the delay into the next loop of the song. Hard to explain. Hopefully you understand though. So that pretty much does it for the keyboard part, or channels 4 and 5. And yeah, channel 5, yeah, changes the reverb with the guitar solo, the electric guitar solo. Now we're going to take a look at the very last thing, the drums. So it first starts out with the hi-hat that has a little bit of a tom fill. And then, or no, this is going to be the kick and snare. And then we're going to go to the hi-hat. And both have these little tom fills thrown in between. But let's start out with the kick and snare part first. Some velocity with the kick drum. That's a bit unusual, but it sounds good. So there was the paddly looped tom drums, but it still sounds good. And I never noticed that it looped that badly until I isolated the track. So again, same phrase as most of the song, just play a little bit to this. But here, there's actually a little difference, so I better stop playing. And it comes right here. So yeah, there's that little like random 2 snare hits there. The second and third eighth notes of that bar. Alright, so now we'll go to the isolated hi-hat part, and then we'll combine the drums together. And I think with its powers combined, it summons Captain Planet or something. But, so, when I listened to this hi-hat track, I was a little surprised by one little nuance. See if you can spot it. So, try to remember what the originals sounded like with all the instruments. If you don't remember, go back and listen to it. I'll try to put timestamps in the video, but that open hi-hat can kind of confuse people, but it's on the 6/8 beat. And there you got little tom fill as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's a bit of a snare drum there, as you can hear. That second hi-hat, that little, it's, you know, every second and fourth 16th note, it's a hi-hat being played at this very low velocity, and I never noticed that until I isolated the track. Once again, same thing, though, throughout most of the song. Besides maybe the bridge part. Now we're at the bridge part. Alright, so what do those toms sound like when they're put together, when the 2 tracks are put together? Let's find out. Pretty cool. It sounds a lot better with the kick drum and snare, you know. Such a repetitive rhythm, but it's so good. And just like other funk music, like James Brown, I was always surprised at how he could just write songs like the same chords throughout like the whole song and the same drum beat and everything, but it sounds so catchy that you just don't care. I like that about the song too. Who would have thought funk music would work this good in the Pac-Man game? I guess all they were missing is some clavi. Yeah. I guess that means I have to. There we go. Actually, let's try to play that with the clavi. pretty funky, right? It's all the song's missing is just a clavichord there, or a clavinet, and then it'd be complete. But that's pretty much the whole song. 7 channels. To think that, now I forgot to mention this. How did I forget to mention this? But the guitar track is very unique. Did you notice anything about it? Maybe a little unusual, especially if you're familiar with the sound chip. Let's take a look at the guitars one more time, just to see if you notice anything unusual. So let's mute everything but that. Yeah, I wish I had a mixing board, but I don't have room on my table for one. Now take note, this is one channel playing this stuff. Technically 2, because one's panned to the left and one's panned to the right, different channels. But just think, they're both themselves. These 3 notes being played on one channel. Pretty impressive for a Super Nintendo game in 1993. Because what they did, I mean, this might be obvious to some, I don't know, but what they did was they took 3 voices and condensed it into one sample. So rather than just, sampling just one note, they sampled, they played 3 notes and sampled that. That is impressive. I know the only other composer I know to do that on the Super Nintendo was Andy Brock with the Hurricanes music, which is also very funk-based. I guess that's why I haven't listened to that stuff lately. I'm just on a funk binge or something. I don't know, but it's really impressive. These sound designers taking advantage of the hardware like that. I mean, that's almost like Fallen Brothers stuff right there. So yeah, it's a great song, and I do plan on transcribing it. I've transcribed a few songs from this game in the Genesis version, but not everything, but just the stuff that I wanted to. So yeah, I might upload sheet music or something. Of course, I do the full band score thing, so you would get. So when I have the sheet music done, it'll have every single part, every channel transcribed basically. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And maybe I'll do more videos like this in the future. Now, if anyone's wondering, I did get the stem tracks from the SPC file. You just go into Winamp and just disable whatever channels you want. And that's how I was able to do it. But it should be mentioned that not every Super Nintendo game is compatible with this. Some of them switch channels. So, for example, you might have a trumpet on one channel, and then another trumpet, or the same trumpet plays, but it switches to another channel, because just the way it's programmed and the way the files are converted and everything, it's hard to explain. You'd have to be a programmer. And, of course, I always get notifications on my phone while I'm doing this. I wish they'd stop. Okay. Especially because it's a stupid email. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave any questions or comments about this track or whatever, and let me know. And hopefully I can do more of these in the future. So, enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. God bless. Peace out. Have a good one.